Pretty packaging, vague health claims, and a natural label on the front don't tell you what's actually happening inside that bag. While you've been grabbing whatever is closest to eye level, some genuinely questionable products have been sitting on grocery shelves for years. Stocked, restocked, never questioned. Surviving on the assumption that nobody bothers to compare. Here's the thing, the quality gap between the worst and best brands in this ranking is not small. We're talking about the difference between a bag full of pebbles and zero sourcing transparency, and a product that costs roughly the same per serving and actually delivers. So today we're ranking 8 bagged bean brands from worst to best, so you know exactly what you're getting before you spend $1. Because life's too short to spend an hour cooking beans that weren't worth buying in the first place. Hit subscribe because we're about to save you from some genuinely questionable pantry decisions. Number 8, Great Value, Pinto beans. Great Value launched in 1993 as Walmart's answer to budget grocery shopping. The premise is volume over quality, and the dried pinto bean delivers on that in all the wrong ways. At $1.24 per pound, it is the cheapest bag in this ranking. That price tag is the product's only real argument, and even that falls apart in the kitchen. No country of origin, no organic certification, no processing transparency. Unusual omissions even by budget brand standards. What you get after cooking is mushy beans and stubbornly firm beans coexisting in the same pot, every single batch. Reviewers consistently flag debris, pebbles, shriveled beans, broken shells, before the stove even comes on. One complaint that appears with almost comedic regularity: I cooked them for 3 hours and half the bag was still crunchy. The taste is aggressively neutral, flat, bland, and lacking any natural earthiness. 150 calories per serving, 260 milligrams of sodium, 11% of your daily value, 7 grams of fiber, 9 grams of protein. Serviceable on paper, not in practice. They're banking on you being too rushed to notice what you're actually bringing home. You're paying $1.24 for a coin flip, and the house has loaded the dice. But Great Value at least has the honesty of a low price tag. Our next brand charges more and delivers less of an excuse. Number 7, Goya, dried black beans. Goya Foods has been a grocery staple since 1936, built on cultural trust within Latino communities and expanded into mainstream distribution ever since. The brand name carries enormous weight, and that weight is doing most of the work the product itself is not. The ingredient list is clean. Single ingredient black beans, zero sodium, no additives. On paper, nothing to complain about. What makes this particularly frustrating is that a clean label is not the same thing as quality, and Goya seems content to let one stand in for the other. What you get after cooking is a dense, chalky bean that never develops the silky creaminess that quality black beans are capable of. The taste is mild and earthy in the most non-committal way possible. Reviewers in cooking communities have landed on a consensus more damning than any one-star review. Goya is fine, but it's not the best. At $1.79 to $2.29, you're paying a name premium, not a quality premium. The nutritional profile is strong, 15 grams of fiber. That's 54% of your daily value, 11 grams of protein. But strong numbers don't fix a chalky texture. They captured a community's trust decades ago and have been making quiet withdrawals from that account ever since. The reliable sedan of the pantry gets you there. Nobody's excited about the ride. Number 6, Bush's Best, dried. Navy beans. Bush Brothers and Company built one of the most famous baked bean brands in America, and then quietly placed a dried navy bean on the shelf that the brand itself seems to have largely forgotten about. What you get: single ingredient dried navy beans, uniform in size, with zero sodium and a genuinely strong nutritional profile. 19 grams of fiber, 68% of your daily value, 16 grams of protein. On those numbers alone, this should rank higher. But here's where it gets tricky. Outside of soups and stews, these beans produce a gummy, gelatinous texture that's difficult to work with. The taste is extremely mild by design, fine under heavy sauces, bringing essentially nothing to simpler preparations. The ceiling is low, and no amount of cook time raises it. Reviews are positive for soup use and lukewarm for everything else. The most common phrasing: fine for what they are. The dried navy bean exists as a brand extension the canned line never needed to justify. They're banking on the Bush's logo doing the convincing, a one-trick pantry player. Very good at that one trick, lost everywhere else. From here, the ranking shifts. The next 4 brands are where the actual quality conversation begins. Number 5, Kroger Simple Truth Organic, dried green lentils. Simple Truth Organic launched in 2012 as Kroger's answer to the organic market. A private label engineered to capture the health-conscious shopper without the specialty store price. It was a calculated positioning play, and here's the thing, it produced a product genuinely worth buying. What you get: USDA certified organic green lentils, third-party certified, no debris, no soaking required, uniform in size. The friction points that make cheaper brands frustrating are largely absent. Texture is consistent and versatile, holds structure for salads, breaks down smoothly for soups. The taste is clean and mildly earthy, honest rather than complex, but honest. It's underrated. 230 calories, 0 sodium, 15 grams of fiber, 54% of your daily value, 18 grams of protein, among the strongest nutritional profiles in this ranking. At $2.49 to $2.99, this is the most competitively priced organic option here. Amazon reviewers describe it as exactly what it says it is. That sounds minimal. After the first half of this ranking, it is not minimal at all. No wellness marketing theater, just a certified organic lentil at a price that doesn't require a separate budget line. If this is already saving you from a bad pantry purchase, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. Number 4, Westbury Natural, dried black-eyed peas. Westbury Natural has been in the organic food space since 1976, one of the original natural food brands, now owned by Hain Celestial. Most people walk past black-eyed peas without a second thought. That is a mistake, and Westbury is a big part of why. What you get: USDA certified organic black-eyed peas with one of the most accessible cook profiles in this ranking. No soaking required. Short cook time, minimal debris, tender, firm, and yielding after cooking. Consistent without tipping into mushiness. The taste is clean, mildly sweet, and genuinely earthy. It rewards simple preparations rather than requiring heavy saucing to compensate for a lack of natural flavor. 160 calories, 0 sodium, 11 grams of fiber, 39% of your daily value, 13 grams of protein. At $3.79 to $4.49, the premium pricing is harder to justify than the next brand on this list. But the product weakness here isn't quality, or its category. Black-eyed peas simply don't get the mainstream attention that chickpeas or lentils command. This is a genuinely excellent product, carrying a niche category on its back. The niche is the only thing holding it back. Number 3, Bob's Red Mill, dried chickpeas. Bob's Red Mill was founded in 1978 on a straightforward premise: minimally processed whole foods, handled honestly. The dried chickpea is one of the clearest expressions of that premise, and it has become the reference point against which serious home cooks measure every commodity chickpea they've ever been disappointed by. What you get: a 27-ounce bag of non-GMO, verified, single ingredient garbanzo beans. After a proper soak, these develop a genuinely creamy interior with a firm outer skin. The textural gold standard for hummus, roasted chickpeas, and grain bowls. The taste is nuttier and more complex than anything ranked below it. Clean, rich, earthy. 0 metallic aftertaste. 269 calories, 11 milligrams of sodium, 12 grams of fiber, 43% of your daily value, 15 grams of protein. At $3.49 to $4.29 for a 27-ounce bag, the per ounce cost is higher than commodity options, but strong cooking yield and consistent results mean fewer wasted batches. The effective cost per serving is more competitive than the sticker suggests. Food blogs and cooking communities consistently call this the best dried chickpea you can buy at a normal grocery store. The qualifier matters: widely available, no waitlist, just a product that performs at a level the rest of the aisle cannot match. They're not banking on anything except the product being good enough that you come back. And it is. And if you're finding this ranking useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Number 2, Rancho Gordo, Mayacoba beans. Rancho Gordo was founded in 2001 by Steve Sando. not as a business plan, but as a food preservation mission. The goal was to rescue heirloom bean varieties that commodity agriculture was allowing to disappear. It accidentally became one of the most influential specialty food brands in the country. And get this, they run a bean club with a years-long wait list for beans. That is not a gimmick. That is what happens when a product is genuinely irreplaceable. What you get: heirloom Macoba beans with documented provenance, grown through direct farmer relationships that preserve varieties no other commercial source currently offers. The texture after cooking is buttery and silky smooth. The highest ceiling in this entire ranking, often compared to fine pasta or cooked chestnuts. The taste is rich, complex, subtly sweet with a mild, savory depth. Zero flat aftertaste, zero compromise. At $7.50 to $8.50 per pound, the cost is the only legitimate limitation. It is genuinely prohibitive for everyday use. The quality gap between Rancho Gordo and the brand below it is larger than the gap between Bob's Red Mill and everything ranked beneath it. That is what the tastings consistently show. $8 a pound sounds unreasonable until the first bite, at which point it sounds like a bargain. But there is one brand in this ranking that matches Rancho Gordo on supply chain integrity, beats it on everyday practicality, and does it at a price that works on a Tuesday night. Number 1, Paloo Brand, certified organic green lentils. Paloo Brand was founded in 2014 on one clear premise: farm direct, fully traceable, certified organic legumes grown in Washington State and Idaho. It is the only brand in this ranking where the packaging identifies the specific family farm that grew your beans. Not a region, a farm. No other product here comes close to that level of transparency. What you get: a 5-pound bag of USDA certified organic green lentils. Non-GMO, single ingredient, documented from field to bag. Minimal debris, quick cooking. Without soaking, highly uniform. The most friction-free experience in this ranking from bag to bowl. Texture is exceptional across every preparation. Hold structure for salads, breaks down evenly for soups, no chalky residue, no variation between batches. The taste is clean, fresh, and distinctly earthy in a way that makes the gap between a commodity lentil and a single origin lentil immediately obvious. You don't need a side-by-side to notice it. 230 calories, 0 sodium, 15 grams of fiber, 54% of your daily value, 17 grams of protein. At roughly $2.80 to $3.20 per pound in the 5-pound format, the cost is competitive with premium 1-pound organic options. Amazon repeat buyer rates are unusually high. Reviewers consistently write, "I can't go back to grocery store lentils after these." They're not banking on a marketing story. They're banking on you reading the back of the bag and realizing no other brand in the aisle can say the same thing. The most honest bag in this entire ranking. The lentil that makes you realize you've been buying the grocery store equivalent of fine print this whole time. Bag beans are one of the most underrated grocery decisions you make, and most brands are content to keep it that way. At the bottom, great value, debris, inconsistency, and total sourcing silence. At the top, Paloo Brand, farm direct, fully certified, and the only product here that tells you exactly where your food came from before you open the bag. Don't trust the front label, the natural claim, the earthy design, the minimalist font. None of that tells you what's in the bag. The best bean brand is the one that delivers exactly what it promises. Most of the brands in this ranking are still working on that. Sometimes a store brand is the honest one. Sometimes the $8 bag is the practical one. Now you know which is which. Hit subscribe if this changed how you'll shop the bean aisle, and drop a comment telling us which ranking you think we got wrong.